Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening, Michael, followed by host Kat.
Yep, this is definitely not the second time we've done this.
And guest Ryan.
I'm guest.
One of our computers decided to turn off.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome to a special episode, because we're going to be talking about the Quintessential Quintuplets movie.
Sure are.
Because we all saw it and have opinions.
Yep.
And we decided, fuck it, we'll just record a special and put it somewhere. So, yeah, if you want a base opinion, we all didn't like it.
That's not true. I didn't hate it.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I hated it.
Kat apparently didn't not like it.
I have problems with it, but I did not like it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hey, as the biggest Quintuplets fan here, do you want to start with your...
The biggest Nino fan, I should clarify.
With your general thoughts? Hey, there's
Yeah.
just spoilers from here on, so
Oh yeah, the whole thing is spoilers. We're just going into it.
Yeah.
This isn't like Anime Club. We're just
No.
doing it.
We're just going for it.
So I have many issues, but overall, I did like it. I didn't think that it was the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't. I mean, he was dying in the theater to leave.
So was Kieran and me.
Yeah.
But
It was so boring.
I was
It
fine.
was bad. It was bad.
But 10 out of 10 Nino content. So if I was just rating on
yeah,
that.
good 10 out of 10 content with her crying into her sister's arms.
Well,
And then
that's-
crying again
that's-
later as 5 years ago because she couldn't get over it.
I wasn't talking about just that, but
Shit's fucked.
Sure is. She's been dating your sister, or he's been dating your sister for 5 years. They're about to get married, and you're still holding on hope.
yeah, but you could tell that all of them had issues.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't even just Nino. Nino's just the one who cried. But isn't
Realistically,
that
I still feel
uncomfortable that all of them are just like...
Itsuki shouldn't have had any. I feel like she never really gave a shit.
I feel like Yotsuba never gave a shit.
Never
Also
gave a
that.
shit. Yotsuba never gave a shit.
Yeah, so...
But then you get those flashbacks where it turns out she always gave a shit.
Nah, fuck that.
Like, it was so forced.
That should have been in the show, I feel like, more than anything. And I know it's based on the manga, so I'm sure that's how that ends.
Yeah,
but
I think the problem is this show definitely could have gotten like a season 3, maybe even a season 4. So pacing of a movie to try and fit that all in is definitely too rushed.
Yeah, because it was like, what, 2 hours, just under 20 minutes? Like,
Yeah,
2:20?
something like
Yeah,
that.
it was
And-
all
'Cause-
rushed. So much of it was
Because
rushed.
I was looking it up.
Rushed,
and
yet felt like it took 5
because
hours.
Yes.
I'm only in season 2, like lining up with the anime. I'm only in season 2 of the manga, so I'm not far. Because the whole reason I started reading this is because I spoiled myself to find out who won. Because I was just like, I can't. I need to know. So I looked it up, and then I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was just like, which I guess if you're here and you don't know and you don't care about spoilers, he chooses Yotsuba. And
Fuck Yotsuba.
I remember.
She's just so nothing.
Like, yeah, like that's
At
the
least
issue.
in the anime.
I have no problems with her as like a person, but like there was no relationship. Like there was just nothing at all.
She's third in my list just
She's
by
fourth in
default.
my list.
Because like Miku,
Lies.
Nino,
It's not on the list for me.
Yotsuba, and then I don't care about
Itsuki.
Itsuki. So, but like
And
I
Ichika's
hate
the worst,
Ichika.
yeah.
So she's bottom, which makes Itsuki, who I don't care about at all, there.
I
And
like
then Yotsuba's at least interesting.
I know you're not gonna think so because you obviously don't care about Itsuki, but I think even though I wanted Nino to be chosen, I think Itsuki made the most sense to be chosen. Like if there was, I think they had the most development.
What?
She was involved. Yeah,
I
was
guess she does
involved
involve with his family the most,
like.
yeah.
And I think
Oh.
they had the most development together, and she was focused on a lot about her future. It always has been like that, not just the movie. Like I think as he was writing it, I think Itsuki was who would have won.
I would have argued that Itsuki, I guess, in terms of like the way that the show goes about its narrative, makes sense.
But the
Also, because
manga's
she's
like
the
that
first,
too.
yeah, because she's the first one that
Yeah.
interacts
Yeah.
with him. So then usually you're like, oh, that's the girl.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not even, like, it just focuses on that. And then, if you guys didn't know, the reason he chooses Yotsuba is because he based Yotsuba off of his real-life wife, and so she made him choose
Did
her.
she make him, or he just did it because
No,
he was like,
she
oh,
made
Made
him.
him.
okay. So
Or-
like, did
or
he ever
so-
say who he was gonna make?
So
it?
they say, because he's the one who told me this. So, what do you know of?
That's why I know very loose information
So,
from
I
my other
guess-
friend who knows everything. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they were
Atomic
like
said something.
someone. It was like someone asked him like in person or something, and he was like keep it on the DL. But yeah, like
Keep
I
it on the
didn't- I
DL,
didn't have a
everyone.
choice.
Please do not start a fight with
Yeah.
my wife. But I did not have a choice.
And this is why you don't base anybody off your wife.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because I don't blame him. I think that's definitely the route he
Yeah, I
should
mean,
have taken.
I feel like saving your marriage makes more sense.
But he definitely shouldn't just have done that at all. Especially because I've got to think he had an idea when he first came up with the concept, right? That seems like that would be, you would have an idea if you're going to write this. I don't think he would just write these characters and like, I'm going to pick later. Like, I feel like you kind of know at least a little bit. And if you're basing so like, I'm thinking he made Yotsuba because he was like, okay, well, I need a personality for this sister. And he's like, oh, let me use my wife. And then all of a sudden he's talking about it with her. And then she's like,
so
she wins, right?
Me, right?
Yeah, she wins, right? So I don't know. But I think based off of how it was written, and like I said, I'm only up to like where it lines up with the anime season 2 of the manga, I think it made the most sense that he was going to pick Itsuki. But I don't know that for sure. Maybe it wasn't.
I guess I would agree with that, because as much as I think Miku's my best pick, there was much more development with Itsuki,
like,
even though I don't really care about her.
I want it to be Nino, but I think it made the most sense that it was.
Yeah, because at least Itsuki was like hanging out with his sister, and like they were good friends.
Yeah,
and,
like she was at the house.
There
was development of that. She cared about like his home life, his sister.
They had the photo booth picture in her.
Yeah,
and
then that was
in the movie.
Yeah, and so that was kept. Which I actually think that they changed that photo because I could have sworn both of them had like a "this is uncomfortable" face, but in that photo, Futaro was smiling. I don't know. I'd have to go back to look, but that was a thought that when I saw that, I was like, "Isn't that not how the photo was?" Because I remember them both had like the kitty cat filters on, but like, they looked uncomfortable. But he was smiling in it, so I don't know. Maybe it's the same.
Movie also like just added a bunch of like random coincidences out of nowhere, and so we were talking about it where it was like all of a sudden everyone's parents know each other.
Yeah,
like they were all.
I don't get it.
Yeah, like Futaro and the sisters, like all their parents somehow were all in the fucking same class with the same teacher, and nobody ever mentioned this until they were getting until they were figuring out what was happening.
Yeah,
like you'd think that somebody would have brought that up before now.
Yeah, definitely that they know each other at all. But then again, maybe it goes into it more in the manga, because this is another thing. Like, I don't know, and maybe I could do a small segment of an update when I eventually finish and be like, oh, you know what? This actually did make sense. They just rushed it a bit, but maybe not. I don't know.
But even so, like it's
at least on the movies basis, it's rushed.
Yeah,
and out of nowhere.
It'll always be rushed out of nowhere. Like
because you go on. I'll say my.
I was like at that point, like if the anime diverges from the manga, you can't just like throw it in and be like, they'll figure it out. Like you can't we don't know. The anime people have no idea. Because
I do think, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I feel like his dad gets him the tutoring job.
Oh, and
yeah, like when he first gets it and says, you're going to be tutoring,
right?
This person and whatever. I do think his dad gives it to him. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe.
I don't remember.
I thought it was one of the Quins.
I thought it was one of the Quins.
Wasn't it Yotsuba?
Yeah, because she walks over with the grade.
Was that in the movie?
Like, hey.
Yeah.
No. So, if in the show, you don't remember that there's like so Itsuki asks him like, oh, can you please tutor me, because obviously she's not doing well and she sees his perfect grade, but later on, after she already hates him because he insults her, calls her fat, whatever.
Called her fat?
Yes, you don't remember this? Because he's like,
remember
why are you eating so much?
He made a comment on how much she was eating.
And so she hates him, right? And then the other sisters mess with him, and then later on, he ends up following them home because he's like, I have to tutor someone here, and it ends up being them. That's what happens in the show.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't remember.
Okay, well, that happens.
Yeah, no, because he was following them, which means he didn't know it was them to begin with.
Yeah.
So one of them didn't ask him. So that does make sense.
Yotsuba is because all the sisters don't want to. Yotsuba is the one that tried to like get them all to.
She likes her sisters. It has nothing to do with like anything else. You know what I mean?
No, I know. I'm just saying because he was like, I thought Yotsuba is the one. So I'm just saying Yotsuba did try and get them all to study, but he had this job because the dad was paying them, and it wasn't because they just asked and said,
Stepdad?
Dad, can you pay? Yeah. But so, and also technically he's I don't even think he had a relationship with the mom. I was thinking about it afterwards because I thought they were together. I think she died in the hospital. He was just the doctor.
Yeah, he was
and
just the doctor.
Yeah, he was.
So they didn't have a relationship at all.
But they were. I think they were still in the same class.
So he was more.
I
think she was their teacher.
Yes, there was some teacher thing involved. It was a teacher-student relationship. I don't know which one it was.
Oh yeah, he did call her senpai, didn't he?
Maybe. But do you remember
the old man was the
Miko's hair?
No. So the old man was the teacher.
So the old man was her teacher, and then the mother was
the student.
And then the mother was Dr. Nakano's teacher.
No, wait, they couldn't have been that different in age.
Wait. I know this because when Uesugi's dad comes in and goes to Nakano, the dad, and is like, he's back. And then later when they confront him, when he confronts them, the woman that is with him, the one with the glasses, the dark hair and the glasses, she was in the show when Itsuki was visiting the grave, and then she has lunch with her, and then she's talking about how great of a teacher she was, and she put them in line and everything. So she was back with Uesugi's dad, and I'm just going to call him Nakano the whole time because I don't think they gave him another name. And they were talking about because how they were all in the same class. So since they are all in the same class and that woman was in the show and was talking about how great their mom was, that was their teacher, meaning she was Nakano's teacher.
Okay, so that would mean that like all of their parents minus the mom are like at least 4 years younger than the quintuplets mom.
Yes.
At least because she had to go to college to be in school.
Correct. But that could have been her like first year out of college or whatever.
Wild.
But yes.
Okay.
But then on top of that, the old man, I think, is their mom. The mom's name is Rena, right? Because that's why they use that as who. So
the old man's their mom.
No.
Old man was
Rena, if that's the mom's name. The old man, I was just clarifying something. I'm not saying.
The old man
was Rena's teacher.
Yes.
So he groomed her. That's just like a sprinkle they added in there.
Yeah.
Unless it's college. They never said if it was high school.
I guess that's fair.
They never specified
There's still
where
a power
it was.
dynamic there.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
There is absolutely a power dynamic, but they never specified where it happened. So it could have been in college.
Okay, well,
and also I would argue probably
grooming.
Made sense more in college if she then
There's
became
just a long line of teacher students that's going on, and they just throw that in there. And the fact that I needed to remember the show to like put pieces together will be like, oh well, they're in the same class. Did we know that
their dad wasn't actually like their dad?
Biologically? I think they did talk about that. But I thought he was like the stepdad, and I don't think I realized that he was actually like a guardian.
Okay.
And not.
I couldn't remember if they said that like they were like, oh, he's not actually like our biological dad.
I think they do touch upon that. I feel like they do.
And all of a sudden at the end of the movie, he's like a better dad or whatever.
Yeah, they did not need to throw in that dad.
No,
the biological dad. There was no point.
I will say that the biological dad had some points about the fact that the doctor dad absolutely did nothing for those kids.
So did
but the guy didn't know better.
No, I know.
On now.
Both of them did nothing.
Yeah.
At least one was supporting them financially.
Yeah,
so he did something,
he
was also as distant as the estranged actual biological
he was a little bit better than that.
father.
But like there's not that much difference, but he was better. But also the fact that they did like how they had Miku as Itsuki.
Also, the dad could tell the kids apart, so at least there was also that.
Yes. And then when the biological dad is like, oh, Itsuki's right here, and he's like, what are you talking about? It's Miku. And then Itsuki comes out, and she's just like, see, if you really loved us, you'd be able to tell us apart. He's been gone for all of these years. How the fuck would he tell you apart? He doesn't know. He's been watching from like the sidelines.
Right.
But so it's just like, that's stupid. They're like, gotcha, I knew.
I also think the anime like goes in on that a bit because like Miku didn't even style her hair differently because all their hairstyles are canonically there, right? Like.
So
I know they have the same color hair and stuff, but the hairstyles are all still real.
Correct.
Miku, all she did was put the stars in.
Yeah.
She did nothing else.
Yes.
So you're like, wow, you really didn't care.
Yeah.
You just saw the stars and were like,
to be fair, he like forgot they existed until he saw Ichika in a commercial, and he's like, oh shit, I have daughters.
That
like that's fair. Literally what they said. What happened, and then he only came for
do something about that.
Yeah, and then he came for his own like self-satisfaction.
Yeah, but also I'm confused, and this felt like more on the rush part of why he even came to be like, don't be a teacher. you're fucking stupid. Don't be a teacher. Like, where are you even getting this knowledge
awful parental advice. He was like, give up on your dreams.
But it didn't make any sense because just because she was studying during the festival, how did he know that she wanted to be a teacher?
No, because she went to his seminar thing. He was teaching a course on how to like be a good teacher or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, remember she had that flyer?
She went to it, and then later on
he's like... show that she went.
Yeah, they just didn't show it. And then later on he's like, oh, hey. And then
stop being a teacher.
Because when he shows up again, she's like, oh, hey, like, you helped me out.
It's like, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there was a whole
But I can't believe she just like accepted it.
That's the thing I was annoyed about. She just accepted right away.
Like, oh my God, Dad?
She's like, I hate you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, you're not gonna...
question
I'd want a test.
Right.
Like this random man just being like, I'm your dad.
Me and Kieran realized this on the drive back, right? So we get that flash forward after the wedding or before the wedding, the part where the wedding's happening. And we get to see all the sisters and what they're doing with their lives, like the 5 years later. So Nino and Miku are running the
cafe.
By the way, did they ever mention that they had a fucking store?
Like
that they were still paying for? I don't remember
that. Yeah.
What?
Like the mom, right? They said in the movie that the mom had bought a restaurant, and that's why they were in debt.
Usugi's dad.
Yeah. Did they ever mention that what she bought was a restaurant? Because I just thought they were like, we're just in debt.
I don't think so.
I thought it was always
so that was
debt.
just out of nowhere.
I think it was just debt.
Yeah, it was like, because when they were like, oh yeah, glad that our mom did that, I was like, wow, that's convenient as shit that you were still had that.
But also the fact
how do they still own it? How does that make sense?
I don't understand why they wouldn't just accept it from their own dad, because like, I don't know. It doesn't
I don't know. Like,
because if you don't want to
now it has that dynamic of they're running his mom's legacy, but also where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know.
If you don't want to accept from their dad, they want to do something on their own, right? You're just accepting Usugi's dad. Like,
yeah, but they're poor, so it's okay.
Yeah, I feel like
that's worse. Like, that literally feels worse.
Think it's better.
Nakano should have paid for the place so the family would not be in debt anymore, and then they try and run it. Like, it didn't make much sense.
My point was, so they're running that cafe, right? Ichika is a fucking famous actress now.
Yes.
Yep.
Itsuki is a teacher. We never learn what the fuck
Futuro
or Yotsuba are doing.
Being married.
Yotsuba's doing nothing.
She's
riding a bike.
The two of them are getting married. We don't know what he went to school for. Nope. We don't know what goal she achieved at athletic college.
She didn't.
I'm assuming
Guaranteed.
it's probably in the manga, but I don't know.
I was joking with Kieran because she like biked there. I was like, oh no, dude, she's like, she runs those bike classes in gyms where she's just like in the front being like, all right, ladies, let's pick it up. Like,
went to school for that.
Yeah, like we never learned what the two main ending characters are doing with their life.
Because they're busy being married. That's it.
Dumb.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Everybody else needed aspirations because they didn't get Futuro's love.
Yeah.
That's it.
So and the two of them are just happy being poor, I guess.
I don't know. I really did like the fact that Miku and Nino opened a cafe together, though. I thought that was really cute because they were always the sisters that were furthest apart, total opposites. Yeah. Like, they always had that drive. So I did think that was really nice that they did.
Also, top tier Nino design at the end there.
Yes.
The scrunchies and like the Kieran was like MILF Nino. Nice. He was like that top tier Nino.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, peak Nino content. Like,
yeah, but no. So the three of the sisters' designs changed because Ichika and Itsuki's designs did not change except for she got glasses.
I didn't like. No, her hair's longer.
Was it?
Little bit.
Okay. Well, because
Yotsuba's
hair
was
was
Nino
longer.
Length and
short Nino length.
No, like long, because it went down to her waist, and then Itsuki had mid hair. Because Nino always had the longest hair, and then it was Itsuki, and then Miku, and then
Ichika did not change.
And then Ichika,
except I think all of them got bigger tits.
I didn't.
They felt like they were animated.
You know why?
So
okay, wait. So we'll go into this part. And so I went on Twitter to see what people were thinking about this movie, and people are raving about it. I haven't seen anything. I saw one single tweet of someone being like, the movie was ... which you could say isn't even technically a negative. Like, they didn't say what they meant, but I'm assuming it was negative. Everybody's like 10 out of 10. I was crying. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Blah, blah. It was such a beautiful thing. I never pay attention to art and animation for the most part. Yeah, the quality. Every time we have anime club, like, you and Sage are just going off and being like, and this background scene, did you see how they went off? And I'm like, I didn't pay attention to that. But for this movie, and I guess maybe it's just because I was on the big screen, so it's just blown up so I could just see it. I thought a lot of it looked like shit. It looked like they made this shit in a week. They didn't fucking try, except for their eyes. They all had this, but they're copy and paste.
I noticed that.
They're literally copy and paste.
I noticed the eyes look nice. I'm like, those are nice eyes.
But I always try to bring out that like it's not the animator's fault. It is the time crunch fault.
For sure.
It is always management's fault.
That's why I'm like, did they make this in a week? Yeah. Because a lot of the times I leaned over to him and was like, why are they deformed? Why do they look like that?
Like there was a scene where they were on a bench together.
Twig arms, and then
they were
their
on a bench
eyes
together.
were
Proportions
like
were so off. It just looked so
and
wrong.
Then,
on the both of them, they're two different like features.
Yeah.
I'm like, but they're twins. What do you mean? Like
and
they're the Quintuplets.
A lot of the times, they either had too small of boobs or they focused too in on it, and then they were way too busty, and there was no in between.
That's what I was saying. Like in when they were all in that cafe and they were all like standing there, I was like,
think that was just
what
because,
happened?
I think it was just because they actually made an effort to like draw them normally, because in the show I thought they were pretty busty like the whole time.
I mean, yeah, they are. It just felt like once they were older, it was like, yeah.
No, because during the movie, they just weren't paying. I was like, they look fucking flat-chested. I was like, what happened? And I don't know. Like, I feel like they just didn't put the time into it. And then also, there was this one specific background scene that it was almost blurry. It was like a tree and some fucking leaves or something. I was like, why does it look like that? And I never pay attention to stuff like this. And I literally thought it looked bad, but people were just like, beautiful. This is so amazing. The animators did so good. And yeah, there were times that I did think that it looked really good. But there were a lot of times that I was like, they look like shit. They look like they're fucking back characters that they draw with like the no details and everything. And I'm just like, you couldn't. They have the same face. Like, it can't be too much harder to just put like a little bit of effort in. I don't know. So that was upsetting to me. And then
because the movie on IMDb right now has an 8 point.
People love it. People fucking love it, bro.
And on Letterboxd it has a 3.4 out of 5. So
I don't know.
I'd give it like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I gave it.
Like out of 5. I was like, oh my god.
No, I gave it a 4 out of 10.
I think. No, I didn't. I think I'd give it like a 7 or 7
I
or 8.
was bored out of my mind.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I think the worst thing a movie can be is boring.
I didn't think it was boring.
I think also the worst too is just like the rush is so worse.
Yes.
Like the rush factor, like because it's just
especially when it's rushed and yet you still feel like it's boring.
Yeah, it rushed and it's confusing and boring and you're like, wait, what? Like, and it's just I don't know. I don't like.
I didn't think it was boring, but to go into the fact, because I feel like we've talked about like general things or like weird nitpicky things, I want to go specifically into each girl's route.
What ifs?
Yeah, right.
The what ifs that
the
somehow
what ifs
connected.
are not what ifs.
They're real. Like, okay, so I guess we'll start with that, of the fact that it is unclear if that shit actually happens or if it's what ifs. Because if it is what ifs, why the fuck do they interlock with each other? But
and then some what ifs actually happen though.
Is
like,
Uesugi fucking sprinting between girls this whole entire time?
Yeah, it's
because
just one day.
The last one actually does line up with the timeline, hence why they don't say this is real. Like, it just goes from Itsuki's right into it. So it goes from Itsuki maybe getting a kiss on the stairs and then doesn't, which fucked up. Where's Itsuki's kiss? I kept saying that. I kept saying that the entire time. I was like, where's Itsuki's kiss?
Almost kiss.
Just like, yeah. And then it was that. And then I don't know. And I guess because they did that because it lined up into that.
Did Itsuki kiss him at a different point in the show?
So I was confused
maybe
about that.
Maybe that's why. That way everybody gets one?
I don't remember that. And she had brought up at the wedding when they were fighting with each other that he accidentally kissed her or something. But I can't for the life of me remember that.
So that's probably why, that each one at least kissed him once.
When did that happen? Yes. Why don't I remember it? Like, I don't know.
I don't remember it either.
I'll have to look it up.
Because he didn't kiss Yotsuba either at the end. But that's
she kissed him.
Right. So like,
which...
At
don't
the bell.
Kiss people while they're sleeping.
Yeah, hang on, bro. That was weird.
I didn't like that.
So
and she was
weird.
like, I was just like, you need jail. Just like, do not.
That was very odd. But like,
and then he was like, oh, it was just a dream. Yeah. Because who thinks that someone kisses them while they're sleeping?
Yeah. But
don't like that.
Because it's very not like they do not give a very good clear example of whether or not those
it's real or
if they're
not.
fake. Because again, like it looks like it's just throughout day one, through his course of whatever the fuck he's doing on day one, he runs into each of them. Then on day two, he runs into each of them, and they all have these little stories throughout the day.
Yeah.
But then also, like, the day, like, it also just doesn't like
the timing wouldn't match up. Like there's not enough time.
I think it could, but they also frame it with the if they were the end. So then the title of each is like, oh, so they aren't happening.
Because it also just
but it's framing it in the way that they are.
Because if it's not actually happening, why even make them interlock at all? Like, why did Yotsuba actually pass out in multiple of them? Like, why? I guess
and
I think it was just two.
And then Ichigo remembers which soda he got.
Yeah.
And that impacts all of it.
That was what the
first one.
The first one.
That's ridiculous.
The fire happens in multiple of them.
Yep.
In
the main one too.
It just doesn't make any sense, especially because he spends a lot of time in both Nino and Itsuki's. So it doesn't make any sense that he even has time for the other ones, because he takes Nino to like the dad. They have to wait around for the dad to come back to his office.
Yeah, but that's day 2's night. Because day 1 is with Ichika. Day 2's night is with Nino.
And day 3 has
all
the
of
dad?
Them. No, day 3's night is all of them.
No, but when does the dad happen?
That would be day 2.
I think it's day 3. So maybe this does happen. Maybe there is enough time.
I think there is. I think he does it, but
he lets all of these people kiss him.
Yeah, but my problem is whether or not they are. There is enough time. My problem was always the fact that they framed the title of it as if they were the winner, which is what makes it weird.
Yeah.
It should just be like what they did with each gun through the festival.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't really care about that because I guess that's like the plot twist. But it is weird saying what if they picked them, because then that doesn't make any sense because
they also end in a way that's not him picking them
they weren't even picked. I don't understand why that was even...
Because they set it up to be like, oh, if they're picked... And so that's why he's spending all this festival time with them, because they're picked. But he actually did all of them.
You'd think that day 3 in an what if scenario would be like, oh, hey, I love you, let's go out. Yeah. But it's not.
Also,
they all end at different times.
Yeah. And like, hate the fact that he says I love you to all of them and that they're cool with that.
Yep.
That he's like we were talking about it, we're like, does he pick all of them? Did they change it? And then he actually like picks all of them, because that's kind of how he was framing it, being like, I just don't understand how they would be okay that he's like, yeah, I love all of you, but I'm gonna pick one of you in 3 days time. Like, we'll get there and I'll just pick
that is
one.
like, first of all, giving himself the time limit, very odd.
It's because it had to end with the festival, you know?
But like...
Stupid.
It's weird because like I get the idea behind it of being like, him being like, look, I do care about all of you.
So do you think it's like a translation thing, because love is different here than how they use it there?
Yeah,
it might be. It might be a difference in the love expression.
Yeah.
But their reactions to it though seemed like
like it was love.
Yeah,
love.
Like
regardless, like I think regardless the idea behind it, whether or not it's executed right is another thing. But I think the idea behind it is him being like, I do care about all of you. I know you all love me and I care, but I can't pick all of you.
It makes it sound like he's good with any of them. Like, I'm gonna pick on a whim.
I mean, if he picked Yotsuba, then he was good with anybody. Let's be honest. There was no reason.
I think it's like, well, first of all, it was always gonna be, because once he found out who was the first one he met, like.
The fuck does that matter? I don't
get
why that matters.
It's not even clear.
Because that's always how that works. The first girl is always the one that they pick, even though there are other options that are better in shows.
Can we talk about the random fucking childhood friend that popped up out of nowhere?
Oh, yeah.
It actually made sense. I mean, she's not random. She was in the show.
They did mention her.
Oh, okay.
She was in the show. If you remember the actual school trip and them showing, he is the girl he kept taking pictures of. That's the girl he liked originally. He kept taking pictures of her. And then he was like, my stomach hurts, and he left. That's the girl. So she's not random, but again, I'm sure in the manga there's probably more time into it, and here it's just rushed. But I guess they tried making it, I can't think of what the right literary term is, but like a point of Yotsuba to be like,
oh, like her moment.
Yeah, like I do love it because she, had that almost outburst.
Her inciting incident.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
Because she runs out and she goes to say something and she like runs away because she realizes she cares.
Itsuki says
I know.
Something to cut her off. Yeah. But like there was just nothing between him and Yotsuba.
At all.
And then
and then you get the flashbacks.
I literally finished the show thinking she did not like him. Like
there was no interaction, and then the best part too, the movie at the end tried to like put them together or whatever, and it's just like they had one scene
when they went to the park, and then
that was their
like,
only
this is my
scene.
Favorite place that ever since you brought me here.
What are you
my
talking
favorite.
about? Like what? Oh my god!
The only good part about that movie was when he fucking fell and ate shit. I think it was hilarious. But then immediately after that, he asks her to marry him on the first date.
Like, I know.
And I was like,
I said that to him. I literally said that to him because he was like, I want to ask you a question, like if that. And I was like,
no, surely not. No,
he's gonna ask her to marry him.
That'd
and then
be
he's
stupid.
Like, no, he's gonna ask something else. And then he goes and he says, "Will you marry me?" I was like, "Fucking God."
I was like, no, dude. I turned to Kieran because the entire movie, like, I think he must have said, "All right, I'm just gonna go," like 10 times.
Yeah.
That was like when he did that. I was like, okay, let's go. We can leave. Let's get out of here.
I did that once or twice. Like, and then there was one part. I don't know. Like,
he put his seat up. He was just like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not
Yotsuba
leaving.
said something, and I was just like,
Kieran did the same thing.
I was just like, I was like,
I'm watching. I'm not leaving. I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
That
So
is like,
bad.
I've only ever wanted to leave like 3 movies in my life that I can think of. This was one of them.
I didn't want to leave. I did like the movie. There's just a lot of issues. I think it would have been better because obviously I knew he chose Yotsuba, and my dislike for this movie isn't that much about Yotsuba. I knew he picked Yotsuba, and so whatever. That's the decision.
Also, I'd like to bring up that the entire opening sequence at the pool was not for nothing.
It was.
I understand it was
for
there
tits.
for fan service.
Yeah, it was for tits.
But like it made.
I'm glad you brought this up though. All right, so because I tried asking Kat.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
she
did not see it.
didn't see it, right? And I half saw it because I was not expecting that to happen. When Miku and Nino popped up in front of him, Miku like took off her swimsuit.
Yes, she did.
What the fuck?
What is that?
What was that?
She takes off the thing and has sunblock in her hand or tanning oil or something.
Oh,
because
but she's like half flashing him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I was
like,
too
in
focused
front of
on Nino that I didn't see
but
this
Miku
at all.
of all the
Miku was the
say
bold
that.
one.
Why
This
Miku
is a
of all
point.
of them?
I actually saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that this movie made them dislike Miku because it was so out of character for her. But I don't think it was that bad because I think it's like her growing. But
trying
they
to get out of her
almost
shell.
Yeah, she.
Made it-
I would say
not a yandere, but like
I would say it was a bit of like a half and half, like because it felt in a way out of character at times, but also like she then would address it later, like the thing where she was like where she shows up and she's wearing Yotsuba's fucking like rabbit ears, and she goes to the thing and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be you, and then she's like, I just needed like it
red flags everywhere.
But it
kept happening. I'm like, dude,
because after that she like it felt like a test for like Yotsuba to be like, see, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, besides, I couldn't do that anyway.
And then
like,
also
she was doing shit that I was like, well, what the fuck? And then immediately afterwards she'd be like, backpedal in a way that was like, I'm just doing this for a reason.
It brought up the good point of it's like you're not helping anybody not being with him because you're just hurting everybody else because he didn't pick them, and then you're not even being with him when they could be with him.
Yep.
So I thought that was a good point to bring up, but I feel like she meant it. I felt like she meant it, that she wanted to be her.
She meant it. She fucking meant it, dude. She looked at Dead in the eye and was like, I could be you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like it's not gonna work. He knows us apart. That's it.
Like I don't know. I thought that originally, but then once she like gave the reason, I was like, no, because she's yet like not the smartest, but is. I feel like because she was also getting like A's.
I was about to say in school
she tested for an A.
She is the smartest.
So I feel like she was doing it to prove more of a point. And she was being weird about it for the reason. Like, regardless, I do
see
think,
it both ways.
Yeah, I do think that
it could be both ways.
I don't think that like it ruined Miku for me, but I do think that there were moments where I was like, "This is weird character."
There was a lot of people. That was like the most negative feedback I saw on that. Is that people were really upset because I guess they just wanted this shy girl that cares and blah blah.
No, I was happy that she was getting out of her shell.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
I don't mind that.
And then
like,
she did kiss him
and
and stuff. I was like, "Good for you!" Like,
she just fucking got on top
she
of him.
fucking pushed him.
Yeah,
I was like, "What is going on?" But that's that was like coming to your show. That's great, bro. That was like was a little bit farther than coming in your show.
Who is that girl?
Angry, yeah. I was like, what is going on?
No, there was
Nico, are you okay?
absolutely. I was thinking that too, but I was like, I was like, I guess this is their way of trying to be like, she's really improved, but it was weird.
It was too far. I think they could have settled with her asking him to like the aquarium. Like, I thought that was cute. I thought that was nice. Like her getting up the courage to be like, go out with me on Sunday and whatever. Not the fucking pushing it. Who is that girl?
Yeah.
Like, and then, it's just, okay, it's just a friend. I was just like, what are they doing?
There's a lot of like weird, like toxic things that the girls would do randomly. And you're like, wait,
I mean, Nino did drug a man in the beginning of the twice.
She was protecting her sisters.
She drugged a man
Nino
twice.
did
do not
Nino
defend
drugged
her.
a man
Do
twice.
not
by
defend
Nino.
her. You said who needed jail? You said earlier. Yeah, I Nino drugged a man twice.
Nah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I don't care if you're protecting your sister. He was there to be a tutor that was
She didn't
paid
know
by
that.
your dad.
She didn't know.
He said it.
Doesn't mean his intentions are true.
I gotta say though, throughout the show though, like the only Quint I feel like I really did change my opinion of as like while watching the show would be Nino. I started not liking Nino. I was like, I don't, obviously like for obvious reasons, blah, blah, blah. And then as it went on or whatever, and when the scene happened when she like confessed to him, bro, I was giddy, dude. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was freaking out.
Because it also never happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was like, no way she'll do this. She left. I was like, oh, of course. Glad she came back. I was like, oh! Yeah.
Especially because she was a tsundere, and then she just
180,
flipped
180.
the other way and was just
Fucking-
like, you need to know at all times I love you.
And the
took the
face
tsundere-
she
yeah.
made, bro. Oh.
She took the tsundere and like just was like, I'm still a tsundere, but I'm gonna be mad about the fact that I am telling you I love you and
Yeah.
you're not doing anything about it. But like, I don't know, like, because especially as like back to the pool thing, as someone that's like, I enjoy fan service. I think it's fun, but like the pool had nothing to do with anything. And I understand sometimes beach episodes happen, and that's the fan service, and like
this 30-second clip.
Right, but like it feels like
And they started the movie with that.
yeah,
But-
right. It feels like
The
when,
intro to the movie.
when it's in a TV show of 12 or 24 episodes and it's one episode of a beach episode, you're like, all right, whatever. But in a movie, it felt
it's
very
not like it
odd.
took too much time.
No.
But what was weird about it is that he said, I keep thinking about that day, like the day where everything changed. And then they randomly show the water park. And I'm like, is this the day? And then they show like 6 more days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, which is the day?
Also, it was Itsuki that he was on the tube with, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, 'cause he like lays down on her and
And
she's
she was
like,
like,
oh, God.
Again, it's always Itsuki. It made sense for Itsuki to be the, but whatever.
And it was Miku and Nino, right? They kept getting paired up the entire time through that movie.
Yeah.
So like, I do agree that I did like that they ended up like being the ones that stay together.
Yep.
Yeah. But so I want to talk about each one of them.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll give reviews on each
Sure.
section. But so starting with Ichika, because they went in age order. That shit was forced. He did not want to be there at all. He seemed happier in every other scenario except for Ichika. I thought it was bizarre. I was just like, this is fucking weird.
Like the walking.
He never smiled. He never said anything about her. It was just her kind of forcing everything. And then he looked at her lips and it was like, whoa. That was it. It was also the shortest.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, if you're going to go, and I guess they literally just did it because since it does happen, he had to pick the orange juice.
Right.
And then since like he always knew, which I don't. If you always knew, you better not be letting people kiss you because
I guess he needed to figure it out. I don't know.
Sisters. And then 2, you shouldn't be letting anyone kiss you if you're like, I'm in love
Didn't
with
they
this.
say that they were like, even if you don't choose me, like we can make it work? Well, didn't one of them say that at one point? They were like, well,
I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah. The what ifs though, like the one, I don't know, sorry, I'm trying to go not out of order, but
No,
don't
do it.
I'm
don't.
just saying.
We're talking about Ichika.
The pet peeve, because the pet peeve I have is Itsuki's. Itsuki's like it didn't have anything to do with them. That was the most annoying. It was just random forced plot for like the entire time. Then they had like a minute together.
That's
that was
why
it. I was like, what the fuck?
that's
How
why
is so?
I
What if
think-
like how what?
That's why I think it did happen, that these things did happen, because it doesn't make it, I don't know.
Yeah, because hers was more about the biological
the
dad.
dad,
stuff.
and then just her and him. Like he wasn't even involved. It was just, but yeah. All right, go back.
Do you have opinions on Ichika's? That was my opinion.
No, I think Ichika's was also just.
It was forced.
Yeah.
He
It was
never
weird.
seemed happy. He never smiled.
Yeah.
Like,
And it
nothing.
was Ichika being Ichika,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is forcing her way into things.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. She's not lying.
So many people were like, oh, Ichika grew so much, like, you know, how she was, and, you know, made Miku cry, and then in the movie it was so beautiful, and she had her moment.
Her first thought
she's
after
barely in
her
this
first
movie.
thought after the whole night was that, oh, they're not dating. I still have my shot.
Yeah.
That was her first
Yeah,
thought.
It was because she grew, because she didn't do that, and she said, "Go get her." Like,
Yeah. You got it.
That's why she grew.
I mean, sure, but
I don't know. Whatever. Any opinions on the Ichika one?
No, I agree.
Okay.
No, yeah.
There's not much to say. There was nothing really that happened.
Okay.
It wasn't much.
So then it's
Very
Nino,
small.
the best one.
So hers was with the dad and then
Yeah.
being annoyed that he
But
wasn't there and stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought
That
it
was
was. I
cute.
thought it was nice,
Yeah.
and it involved Futuro. Like
Yeah.
it actually involved it that he was actually trying to be part of this, and then
I'd like to bring up again that I love that, like, he's supposed to be like such a nerd, and yet he fucking has a motorcycle license.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like
I
the
always
coolest
forget.
dude ever.
I
and has
always
a
forget
motorcycle.
about it,
I
and
don't
he's
know.
just and it's always only with Nino. It's always like him and Nino on the
Yeah.
motorcycle.
That's their thing.
It's
Yeah,
like their
apparently.
thing. Yeah. Like,
but I thought it was very nice. It was very
She
cute.
definitely has a sticker on the back of his motorcycle, even after they get married, that just says like Nino's spot. Like Yotsuba can't use it.
I'd be surprised.
But I thought it was nice. It was very cute that he was there. And instantly from going that from Ichika's, there was such like a change in tone. He complimented her. That's why it did seem like it actually was this what if, because he seemed like way more into it, like full into it. You know, helping her. He went around to like the camera crew to like ask, have you seen this man? Like he put in effort for this, and it wasn't even for all of the girls. Like it was specifically for Nino, and he's like, I know it took a lot of courage to send this invitation, and
Yeah, but it's also because she was the only one that cared. The other girls didn't care if their dad was there.
I think that it makes like the difference of going more into this what if, because it did seem that was the route that he chose Nino in, so he
Right.
spent all his time with
But like,
Nino.
just things like that's why I thought like because you guys said it was Itsuki, but like I feel like Nino would have had a good shot too if he was gonna stick. Like if it wasn't Yotsuba.
Yes,
I
I
think
agree.
Nino would have had a very good shot as well as Itsuki. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Itsuki makes the most sense in terms of like how often she was in his life. Nino would make the most sense in the fact that she was just so open about it.
Yeah.
Like he's involved a lot in
The scene where he's like fuck, I can't remember. The girls were like, oh, like she likes this boy, blah blah, blah. And he's like, nah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
she likes me, and I was like, oh my fuck. And they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
I
the
was
girls are like,
"Oh."
why would she ever
Yeah,
like you,
like,
you fucking loser?
That's not nice to spread rumors
Yeah,
about
it was
Nino
fucking
like
good.
that.
That was good.
Yeah,
That
I
was
did
very
like
good.
that a
And then
lot.
she like goes to like defend him, and she's like, nah.
Yeah, I was just like,
That was cute.
It was good.
But
Felt so bad for him
I was
because
like,
not
this
only
is
did
perfect.
he like mustered the
being
courage to be like,
roasted.
it's me. Then he gets fucking roasted. That they're
Yeah.
like, she would never like you.
well, when,
And he's like, fuck, you're right.
When he said that, I was like, I can't believe it. I was just like, why would he just like rat her out like that and just say? So
Their
whatever.
immediate reactions just made it like somewhat like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
because
glad
it would.
he said it.
I feel like he said it also because like, I know, like I think he was hoping that it would work, but also like I don't know,
feel like
their
it-
immediate reaction of no way.
I felt like it was like a confidence booster for him, and then they just teared it right fucking
Yeah,
down.
Definitely.
He was like, nah, yeah, she does like me, and they're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
He's like,
they're,
"Oh,
they're
all
like,
right."
what are you? That's not nice. Don't do that. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, I do think that if he wasn't gonna pick Itsuki, it made sense to pick Nino, especially because their interactions like the entire time, not even just the movie, but you know the seasons and everything. But I thought Nino's was great, but I'm biased, I guess.
I mean, I would agree. I think hers was the most interesting.
I think hers was the best one.
Yeah, because hers at least has like a bunch of, well, Itsuki's has Itsuki's has plot relevance too.
I
But
think
Nino's has the
Itsuki's
most
is-
interesting plot
I
relevance.
think Itsuki's is the longest, but it, like you said, wasn't really like the two of them. It was just in general Itsuki
Yeah,
on
I don't
screen.
even count that. It was just I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish they did the what if after the whole plot thing, because then it would make sense. Because it's starting for them or whatever. But like
Right.
it really had nothing to do with them at
Yeah.
all whatsoever.
Yeah.
To the very end.
It definitely, yeah, like hers besides Itsuki's had the most plot relevance.
Yeah.
But then like, because Miku's is very much just her getting out of her shell more, but like, which is
too far.
Yeah, but like, which is at least interesting, but like, it feels much more as a side point than a main point.
It also did feel out of character. Like I felt like they just went too far with it. I guess.
She went a little too outside the shell.
Like I thought it was nice that she like yelled at the two in the roof, being like, you know, we need to get along. You're acting like children, blah blah, all that. Like I thought that was nice, getting out of your shell, you know, doing that. But then when she fucking just pushes him down like that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, so we can go into Miku's if no one has anything else to say about Nino's.
No.
Okay, so yeah, for Miku's, I guess we already kind of started it.
Yeah,
but
so we discussed that.
I thought it was. I thought that all four of them were nice, I guess. Except for Ichigo's. I think Ichigo's was so forced. He did not want to be there.
Right.
No interest.
I agree that one just felt off.
Yeah, and that's the one you start off with. So I feel like it kind of makes like a weird tone for like going into the movie. But so I thought that Miku's was nice. Besides the fact that she was like a little yandere light in this movie. Because I think that was, I don't know, it was too much. It was out of character. Yeah. But I literally saw someone's tweet that said that Miku was their favorite and the movie made her the least favorite. Not even just lower, least. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, like Miku's still like Miku and Nino are still like pretty close for me. Yeah. But it didn't like, it felt odd, but it didn't like
ruin it.
Yeah. Like it was just like this is a little weird, but like whatever. I guess
she didn't change on my tier list from it. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, like it fell out of character, but also like the rest of the show still exists, so it's not gonna fucking drop the like.
Yeah. I don't know.
But like, cause that, and then like, I don't even remember what Yotsuba's fucking day was except for her passing out. Is that really just it?
Wasn't it just her stressing out the whole time and blaming herself for everything?
She was going around, and then there was like the fire, and she was asking everybody.
Like blaming herself because she saw the papers and didn't take care of it or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was just,
like hers wasn't, like hers only involved.
Oh yeah, when is he involved?
When she's in the hospital.
When he's like, look, these people care.
When she sees the chairs, and then she's like,
oh yeah, that, and then when she's trying to leave.
Yeah.
Which also means that this did happen because he has the coupon. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Also, the fact that she didn't even go to the room, she just like left. She's like, no, you would never choose me.
I think she was in the room.
She did because she left her phone.
Yeah.
But like, and then she was like, and he's just sitting there, and then she finally comes back. He's like, oh, there you are. And she's like, no, you're not here. Leave. Like, he's like, finally musters up the courage to be like, I love you. And she's like, no.
No, thank you.
And he just freezes. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be the same.
Dude, I was so happy. I was like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, just go to someone else's
thank God
room,
she
please.
said no. Like, that's great. Like, maybe there's a chance.
Running away from the whole time. I also thought we were going to get a whole thing of like all the sisters helping point out where the fuck she went.
Oh,
it was just. It was
just. But also, can we talk about like she's like a what, track star? Yeah, I was able to.
The fact that
he caught up with good at any sport.
Yeah,
catch
like,
up to him, not like that.
No.
How many times he run out of stamina like in the show, like nothing was dying, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, like
but that he
plot,
could, I guess.
Plot,
adrenaline. He did it, but like he shouldn't have at all.
And then he just fucking ate shit.
Because he could barely keep up with Miku, and Miku was the worst runner in the class. Right. So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So I guess we're done talking about Miku.
I feel like at this point it's like, you know, it's overall like, I don't know. Ichigo's was, Ichigo's was the worst.
Yeah.
The Nino's was the one that made the most sense in terms of like the plot and everything, even though Ichigo's also did, but it was less involved, so it was a little less interesting.
Yeah.
Also, who the fuck cares about that guy? He only showed up for that.
I literally thought he was a con artist. Like I thought when they were like, he's back, I thought he was a con artist, and like that's what was happening. Not that, especially because he looks like he's fucking 70 years old. Yeah. That it doesn't seem like that would actually be their dad, but sure.
Right. And
nobody needs a test.
Then, like, Miku's is fine, and Yotsuba's is just like it's also the one that ties everything else together to realize that all of these are pretty much connected.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it is whatever. It's her getting the same speech that she got in the fucking second season, which was, "Hey, stop doing everything." that Nino had to pretend to be Yotsuba to get them to fucking leave her alone.
Yeah.
So it's the same message she already got. And like, yeah, in real life, people don't fucking learn a lesson like after the first time necessarily, but like still, like it felt a little unnecessary to get this again.
Yeah.
I agree. Could have done something, but like that's just goes to show like how meaningless this character is, like how pointless plot wise, and how like
she just gets the same story.
She has no fucking character. She's nothing to offer.
When they went into the past about Yotsuba, was that her day or that was after he picked? After he picked, right?
That was like that was during the marriage thing.
It was when she was running away from him. Yeah. She was getting all these internal
and then we
thoughts
finally got
the
some sort of thing that somewhat maybe a little bit sprinkled kind of makes sense of like why
it was all the reasoning for why she liked him and why it would make sense that he would like her.
But it still doesn't make sense.
It was too late. Like it was fine, but it was too late.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
And like it was very weird. It was very weird her constantly being like, no, I don't want this. And him being like, no, I need you to have an answer, actually. And it was like, well, technically she did give you an answer.
Yeah.
And he's like chasing her. And then she like walks up after he like eats shit from the rock. And she's like, are you okay? And he just fucking grabs her. He's like, you're staying here until I get an answer.
I was just like, he's definitely going to. He's just getting way too close. He's grabbing her. I thought he was going to pull her to the ground, though, to be honest. I didn't think it was just going to. I thought he was going to sweep the leg.
The Hulk.
I didn't think it was going to be just a hold ankle. But I definitely knew that he was gonna do that. But I think she ran away too many times. Don't you think someone would give up by then? Like, be like, all right, like she doesn't want me. Like she's running away.
I would understand if it was something to chase after, but this like he had no real reason to even like her at this point.
Right,
You're
but
it doesn't make
in the movie's logic. I mean, like in the movie's logic, there was, which is why he's chasing after her.
But it's like minimum compared to everybody else.
Yeah. And like, and I know in the show she technically had like the second most screen time because Nino had the most.
I don't remember. I'll have to find the chart.
I think Yotsuba had the second most screen time.
No, I really feel like she had like the least, and that's why I was talking about it.
We thought that, but she didn't.
Let me see if I can find it.
And then I don't know. Regardless, but I will say, even when they were giving all the reasons for why he liked her, and and having those flashbacks, when he was like, "You're my foundation," I was like, "Okay, nothing you
Liar.
even." I was like, "Nothing you even just showed to justify all this makes me think that."
Yeah, no, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was like, that's a wild accusation to throw out there.
I don't know. Angry. Anytime Yotsuba was involved, it was very angry.
I will say,
didn't make sense.
At least for me, the part of the movie that I liked the most was actually near the ending, like the reception and everything. I liked the in-betweens of him talking about what each girl meant to him when he's guessing who they are.
I like that.
And then it would cut to Yotsuba's opinion of all of them. I did like that it was just each sister, his point of view, her point of view. I thought that was legitimately, if that was a ceremony of a wedding I was at, I would think that was a very nice thing to do.
Okay.
I agree.
I have the chart.
Okay.
So this is with season 1 and season 2 added together because obviously they have different for each season. Right. But overall, Nino has the most by a fucking mile. She 1,430 minutes.
Okay.
And then it's Ichika with 1,116. Literally fucking 300 minutes of a difference. And then it's Itsuki with 1,054. Then it's Yotsuba with 1,043. And then Miku with 1,037. So the three of them are pretty much around the same amount of time. But yeah, so that just kind of shows that. I think we were surprised about Itsuki.
The worst
it
character.
Felt like there was a lot.
Yeah, the second most.
Because Miku has the least amount of time, but it's only a difference of 6 minutes with Yotsuba. So obviously the pick, and it's 6 minutes of a difference to not be last.
So then maybe it's just like if she was your best girl to begin with, then because I thought there was more of Miku, and she was my best girl. So
I felt like there was a lot of Itsuki, and then for Itsuki to just have 10 minutes more.
Right.
I don't know, but
yeah, I did like the ending. At least I thought that was like a very nice, like between of his point of view, her point of view, and whatnot. And also I'd just like to point out, I understand that they are rich, but 5 of the identical same wedding dresses just for a bit to see if he could pick them apart. You would have thought that it would have just been like them in some other regular ass clothing or something. Like, bro, you know how much fucking money you must have spent on 5 identical dresses?
They made it seem like they did it like the day of. They said it like the day of. Like,
but then also that she wasn't even wearing that dress at the reception.
Yeah.
That's the thing in weddings that they change dresses.
I've never seen
for the
it.
ceremony and reception because it gets too hot. So a lot of people will have short dresses for the reception versus the ceremony.
I've been to a few, but I've never seen anyone do that, so I wasn't sure that was a thing.
Yes.
Okay, fine. They are rich, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that they got 5 of the identical same ones just for a fucking bit.
I kept saying to him, I was like, please pick the wrong one. Please pick the wrong one. Tell me the wrong one's up there right now. You married the wrong one.
When he was like, points at the one and is like, oh, you. And
You're
then
my
like,
bride. The only one that didn't fucking speak. You're my bride. Like, I got you. Like,
it was like,
you have no character, so I know it's you.
Literally all of them were speaking beforehand. And I get it. If they all have the same face, right? It is hard. Like, my friends that are twins, I couldn't tell them apart for a while, and then eventually I got it. And now they look so different that I could never confuse them, no matter what they did. If they wore the same things, like, they don't look the same.
But do they have the same voice?
That's what I'm trying to bring up, is they don't. And they all spoke. Like, don't tell me after however 6 years, because it's 5 years that they've skipped, and then he knew them for what, a year or two before that. Yeah. So don't tell me minimum is 6 years. You can't tell their fucking voices apart. And every one of them spoke except for fucking Yotsuba. I was like, that's cheating. That's not fair. Like, oh great, you did it. You picked her out. Good job.
But like I liked just when he points at Ichika first, and she's like, goes to say like, you got it wrong. He's like, oh, you're Ichika. And she's like, God damn it, I thought you picked
like,
wrong.
I got him.
Yeah. No. And I was like, I did like that little thing, and I think, unless I like am misremembering it, but I pointed it out to Kieran, and I don't think I was wrong that he's like, you're my bride, and puts the ring on her hand, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure she's wearing a glove when he puts that ring on her finger, and then it cuts to her putting her hand up and looking at it, and she's no longer wearing a glove.
No, when he puts it on, she doesn't have a glove on.
She doesn't?
Yeah, because I
totally thought she did.
Because I remember thinking, did she preemptively take her glove off? Because like that kind of gives it away, because she was just waiting for him.
I totally thought she did.
When he finally turns, and she just like quickly just like rip it off and like present her finger.
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, I don't. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, my pet peeve is the fact that the dad always only saw Nino and his relationship. That's all he's ever seen is Nino and Futuro. And there was multiple times with that. But he's just cool and accepting Futuro that he's marrying Yotsuba. Yeah. He's not going to have a problem with that. That seems weird that he saw all this development with Nino, and that doesn't seem right.
I guess, like, I'm trying to think at it like objectively, and like he always saw him with Nino, but also he knows he was hanging out with all of them. So just because you're only seeing him with the one is because also she's the only one that gave a shit. So he was just trying to help her.
He also saw their moment in the hallway.
Yeah.
Well.
That was like, hang on.
Right before he picked
Nino didn't give a fuck. Nino didn't give a shit, dude.
Like,
it's like, I want him to know, like, Jesus Christ, woman.
I did forget about that.
Like,
yeah.
So yeah, then he absolutely
I find that odd that he's protective and
was like,
and even the fact that Futuro brings up to Nino that he looks at him with like a way of protecting his daughter. So it's like, he's just cool with the fact he's picking Yotsuba.
I'm just so angry that
Seems
it
odd.
just doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. It makes no sense that Yotsuba won or even was picked, even a contender. Yeah, to be honest.
Because I think the only contenders.
But it would have also been weird then if he picked Itsuki too.
Yes,
so
I do think that is true. It's not.
But it would have made more sense to fucking Yotsuba.
Right, but I mean, like,
anybody would make more sense.
In terms of the dad.
Yes,
it would have always been weird if it wasn't Nino.
For sure.
So,
and I think that he should not be cool with that.
Unless he knew that Itsuki like was with the family.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That he knows that he was hanging out with the rest of the kids, obviously.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't know what they're doing ever.
But what I'm saying is like he knows that he's at least tutoring all of them.
Yeah.
So like he knows that he is spending time with all of them. I don't think the thing in the hallway does make it weird.
I think
But everything else, I think it's just like
there's multiple scenarios of just.
What if that was the only time he was ever hanging out with Nino?
Wasn't the hallway thing a what if?
No,
we don't know if they are.
We think that they're real. We think that
I'm saying,
why did they
were.
title it "What If," bro? Like, what was the point of that?
That's the point. The title makes it confusing, but everything about it makes it seem like they all did happen.
Yeah,
Makes no sense.
I don't know. It really. I don't get it, but I don't know.
Also, the fact that when they're in the like groom's room, whatever the fuck, I forget what it's called. And he's like and then his Futuro's dad comes in. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you only drink on happy occasions." It was like, motherfucker, he is at his daughter's wedding. I mean, like.
But I think it was supposed to show because this man doesn't fucking smile or anything, and then that he is like, this is a happy occasion.
Right.
I don't know. It's fucking weird, dude. I think the only actual contenders were Nino, Itsuki, and Miku. Like, it didn't make any sense for him to pick Yotsuba or Ichika.
Ichika's just evil.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense for him to pick her. And because he even pointed out the fact that she was doing that. So, like, he knows that she's fucked up. So where did Yotsuba come from? Where did she come from? Like,
because, like, you would have thought that if he was already going to have to pick Yotsuba, he would have put her in more.
Yes.
But you're also saying that in the manga, she does seem more like a contender.
No.
I thought you have said that. Like,
no,
people in the manga say that.
Oh, people say that. I haven't gone to it yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
it's not there yet.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is that
I'll let you know.
She's on par with season 2 though at that point in the manga, and it's still nothing.
It's supposed to be.
If anything, it's just rushed towards the end.
Yes, because like, that is true.
We're missing what 3 arcs left?
No. So they were saying that I don't know if they were saying specifically that one important arc was skipped for the movie, or if it was only one arc was skipped. But however, they were saying that's it. So that means that she only has one arc, if anything, and then
I don't know.
That's it.
I'm at least gonna think that if people that read the manga say that it makes more sense.
Not everybody, because there are people that are like, no, still no.
Is there a light novel?
I don't think so. I think it's just a manga, but maybe.
I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody talk about that.
Because there's always problems between the light novel and the manga and then the anime for like everything.
It just looks like a manga.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I've never seen anybody being like, well, actually, in the light novel, like, this makes sense.
Yeah, true. I never thought of that.
So
the movie is the second highest rated thing out of the manga, the 2 seasons. It's the second highest. The first season's the highest with 8.1.
That's what I'm saying. I really thought, especially because when we left our theater.
Oh, sorry. The second season's the highest rated. The first season's actually the worst rated.
Okay. Because I remember when we were leaving that we heard other groups of people saying that it sucked or that they were unhappy or being like,
everybody was like hated it.
Everybody was like groaning when the movie ended. They're like, "Oh my god, oh no!" Like everyone just started talking.
And then
like
I specifically remember that those group of guys that were in front of us. One of them was like, "Guys, it wasn't that bad," but like, meaning all of the other ones.
If you hear that, that's not a good thing. Yeah. Like,
meaning the other ones had to have been like, "What the fuck was that?" So I don't understand how our whole entire fucking theater didn't like it, but yet
all
fucking
these people on Twitter,
everybody is saying this was amazing, this was beautiful, this was
scored that high,
this was the perfect conclusion and they couldn't have done better, this looks beautiful. Like it doesn't make any sense.
I feel like it honestly it would have just made more sense if he didn't pick. If he just didn't pick and we left like that, I would have been fucking fine with that over fucking Yotsuba.
Also,
it just doesn't make sense. Like, it makes me angry.
Multiple people in our theater left a bunch of times, specifically to our left and our right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe because there was a guy and a girl to our left at the end. The girl kept getting up and leaving. So I was thinking maybe her boyfriend just like asked her to come and she doesn't really care. So she was in and out. Or she hated the movie. I don't know. We won't know. The guy to our right kept getting up and leaving. And it's like, why are we just leave? Like, don't come back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do you? I guess because the other one wanted to see it and the other one was just like, I'm just fucking going. If we were on the end, he probably would have walked out and been like, I'll come back. So maybe because they were on opposite ends. So I guess they had the luxury of leaving.
Yeah.
But it can't be, oh, I just need to go to the bathroom, because it would just be one singular time.
Right.
And
it's multiple people.
If it's a good movie, you're going to try and hold out. You're going to try your best. So clearly people were not excited, but I just don't get how it has this good of ratings, but yet an entire theater could... Did we get a different cut? A different cut of the movie? Oh, were we talking about, or maybe I saw a post about this, but people talking about the movie having multiple endings and playing it at random theaters.
We talked about that. Just
maybe that's
actually a thing that happened.
No.
That it would be really funny if they made that. Yeah, if they
that would be
like 5 different versions and it was all the different girls.
So fucking funny.
So then everybody else just saw a different ending, and then that's why
I would
ours
totally
like
fine with that.
Yeah, like if we went the next day and it was like, dude, I can't believe Miku won, and you're like, fucking
what?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just fucking weird. I feel like I had something else to say about the movie in general. I don't know. The pacing was weird.
Again, I think it's really weird that we don't know what the fuck Futaro and Yotsuba are doing after.
Yeah.
I have to think that it's a thing in the manga. I'll let you know.
Okay, but I just think that's very odd that like
Yeah.
the two like main characters, you don't find out what the fuck they're doing.
That just goes to show that like they had nothing. Like there was nothing planned. Like it's weird. It really is weird.
And if it is the manga, in the manga, that's just a weird thing to cut out though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because all you have to do is at least have someone mention
it's
it.
already a long
like a
movie,
sentence.
so I feel like it's just that they
One
don't
sentence
have time.
is not gonna.
Yeah, like I feel like it could have been when they were already all in the cafe. They're like, oh,
They're
hey,
casually-
how's running the gym going or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, and at some point, Futaro, like when they're like, oh, the wedding's over, and they're like, oh, I feel like I'm so tired. Like he could have just somewhere been like, oh, like how's the business going?
It also is weird that specifically she goes to college. 3 of them don't go to college.
Yeah, she goes to like a
Yotsuba,
college specifically specialized in fitness.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought she just got a sports scholarship.
No, he said something that was basically like she was going to a school that specialized in like that was about like sports or physical something. Mm-hmm. It was a college tailored to the fact that she is good at sports.
Yeah, you're right that specifically the 2 of them do go to college, and then it's not talked about like what the fuck they do.
Yeah,
but I don't know. But everybody else I guess.
They gave it to all the other girls.
I guess because they were like, okay, well, what have they been doing in this time being sad that Futaro didn't pick them? Like, I don't know. So that's
and yet, again, the only one holding on, which I still think is kind of weird.
I think they all were. I think they all kind of gave like a
hint.
Yeah, that they were. I just think Nino has always been the most...
She openly cried.
Yes, Nino has always been the most open.
Which is very weird to openly cry about the fact you didn't get picked on the wedding day.
So then the whole thing about this series is the fact, and especially because they made it fucking weird, that they're all going on the honeymoon.
That was also so...
Yes.
Me and Kieran lost it when we thought it was a fucking dream sequence.
Like,
we were like, are you fucking
that's what I thought
serious?
too. That's what I thought too when he's like, our wedding. And then they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then they trusted that was a cut. So I was like, whatever.
I would have lost it.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
The fact that this show makes no sense because 5 quintuplets... I guess that's redundant, but whatever. But them...
Yeah, 5 sets of quintuplets.
Yes. All liking the same guy. And the fact that they're okay with 1, that he said he loved all of them. And then 2, of him just being with one of them. How are they okay? No matter who he picked. How would they be okay trusting their fucking sisters? Like, because it's like, why would you...
Especially with Nino being so open about, like,
why
wanting
would
to take him. Like, if you don't watch out, like...
Yes.
She threatened Yotsuba. Like,
why would you want your sisters to ever be around your fucking husband? Like, how?
I feel like the
dynamic's always been weird.
Yeah, but
that's what I said about the whole series.
I feel like regardless of what they did through the show and everything, like once they're committed, I feel like they're not gonna fuck with that.
But here's the biggest problem:
gave them like boyfriends or something to make it not weird.
People would fucking leave it, dude.
Yeah.
People
Why?
Mad, bro.
No,
you don't do that.
They
you don't fucking.
I agree, but
that's
people would have been.
You don't fucking do that, bro.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
You don't do that.
Is after 5 fucking years, they're all still single, just like
holding out hope that their relationship fails.
No, they should have gave them all boyfriends.
Which also is pretty fucked up that they're all holding out hope after 5 years that they break up. Because then if they break up, they're gonna be like, hey, pick me instead.
Yeah.
And then Yotsuba would have to see all the time.
Yeah.
But like my biggest problem, especially at the end though, is like someone brought this up on Twitter or whatever, which like I agreed when she talked about it, was that like the dynamic never changed at all. 5 years after, they were still like how they were in high school.
Why
the whole dynamic. He was getting fucking married, and they're all still flirting. Like, what's going on?
That's why they should have had boyfriends. That's the only thing.
You're right. People would have been pissed, but it would have made more sense.
I suppose.
And you don't even have to take the time to animate them. Just bring it up.
Yeah.
Like literally when they're talking about their lives, just say
I was
that.
waiting for Ichika to say something about that, like being in the States and like meeting
like,
somebody, something like that. I was really like, oh, that'll happen. That makes sense.
And again, like, you're gonna go on the honeymoon with the couple, like, dude, what, you gonna get it, like, that's just awkward as
and
shit.
then they were like,
because
Yotsuba has no problem. She's like, of course my sisters are going. Like, yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, like, they're getting a room on like a separate floor or something, dude. Like,
and then when they were all picking whatever, I was fucking laughing because I don't know who the fuck kept doing it, but they were literally pointing at the fucking ocean, just the water, twice.
Are you
The
sure
flashback and the flash
Are you
forward.
sure they weren't covering an island?
I'm like, there probably is an
'Cause
island, but it looked, bro. It
Yeah,
looked
one
like
of them-
someone
I know
fucking
you
hit
don't
the
know
water.
a map. I know you
Water.
don't know a map, so you wouldn't know if an island was there. And I didn't see
I
this.
do remember, at least for one of them, I don't remember if it was the future or the past, one of them did say an island.
Yes.
Okay.
So
all right.
so I'm going to assume that at least
There's
the
an
middle-
just
island,
laughing. What the
yes.
fuck was going to the middle of the
yeah,
ocean?
let's just go to the middle of the Pacific
Who
Ocean. Let's
did
go
that?
watch.
Also, we didn't talk about. Fuck. Wait, I just lost it. We didn't talk about the fact that. Shoot, talk about something else.
So yeah, the fact that they were all gonna go on like that honeymoon, very odd for a new couple too, because that's just weird. But also, I still think it's very, very weird that they were all just kind of like hoping something would fail because
Yeah.
because
That wouldn't even work to begin with.
yeah, not only is that like just kind of weird to hope that your sister's relationship is going to fail, but also the fact that then you're like immediately going to be like, I am going to take him, and then you're also still going to have to see your ex-boyfriend dating me.
Yeah. But so I was going to talk about the fact because we actually didn't finish going through all of them, but it's fine because we gave kind of back and forth. But we didn't talk about the fact that Yotsuba's fucking backstory made me be like, fuck you, like you're an asshole to your sisters. Like we didn't talk about this at all. I'm the best Quint.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I've never hated Yotsuba more than I've ever in my life. Like, what is this?
It was like, it was her striving so hard to get out of their shadow that she then became an asshole.
Yeah,
In the theater, she was literally just like, is this supposed to make me like her more? Because it's not. I'm like,
really
she also
couldn't
failed
tell.
at that wish immediately.
I really couldn't tell
Or not
if it was
immediately. She
supposed
was trying,
to
but
help her scenario or just make her like us hate her, because I don't know. I fucking couldn't tell because she was just an asshole. Like the fact that and then when all of her sisters were like, yeah, we're not leaving you. Like you're not. If you switch, we all switch. And at that moment, she didn't fucking deserve that. She didn't deserve that because all she wanted to be was fucking separate from them and then being an asshole. But yet they were like, no, we're like that.
Well, I think that's the point though, because they always were like, even though she was being a
but
bitch, they were like, you're still our sister.
She didn't deserve it. That's my problem. Is just
because like
fucked up.
the entire time she's being a bitch about it, and then even still, Miku's like, hey, do you want to study? I'm like, I'm doing all right in history, and she's like, no, I need to do this on my own.
Yeah, she's like, fuck you for being good at history.
But like,
Get out
so
of my face.
I feel like, you know, yes, she was being mean, but like also they're still like, we're still sisters.
Yeah,
we're
but
not
that just made me
bail.
not like her because I'm like, this bitch doesn't deserve shit at all. So I don't know.
I agree.
I can't.
Do you want to wrap it up there?
I guess so.
All right.
I feel like we've talked about most of it.
Do we want to do like what we do with Anime Club, like give the rating and
Yeah, I guess so.
whether you'd watch it, I guess.
Sure.
All right.
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure. So just
Thank you
listen
for
to what she
context.
does.
I was like, I need context.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll understand what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So I would give it 8 out of 10. I have issues with it, hence why I knocked it down.
So why
to
is it an 8, bro?
I'm talking about it.
What?
I'm talking about it.
It just shocked me with 8.
8?
You've given some of my shows that are way better than this movie.
Trash.
All right, whatever.
Because I love the Quintessential Quintuplets. I think it's great. So
Yeah, your expensive ass card.
Yes.
Nino was in the movie, so it's automatically 7 points.
Yes, my sign.
Yeah, Nino made it a 7.
Made it a 7 automatically.
Well, yeah, it does.
Oh my
And then her story gave it the extra point.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
else is the
Everything
minus
else is
2.
the minus
Like
2.
I said, if it was just Nino, 10 out of 10, but it's not. So I give it an 8 because
No, it starts at a 10 because of Nino, and then it loses points.
Exactly.
Everything else.
Yes, perfect. Just because I still like the story. I was not bored by this movie. I had issues with it, which obviously I said this entire time, but I still liked it. I still liked the movie. I still like most of the sisters except Ichika. Fuck Ichika. And then
Unless you're Anthony.
yeah. He's just got a MILF thing, and she's not even a MILF.
She's just the oldest one.
MILF energy, I guess, but whatever. And so I did like it. I wasn't bored. I wanted to stay to see what happened. Because he was just like, this better not be Yotsuba the movie and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was fine with that because I know that he picked her. There's no around that. Like, obviously, she needs to have a lot of time because
I wouldn't have liked Yotsuba the movie, but it would make sense because we'd actually get to know why she was picked. Yes. But it didn't even happen. So that's what made me even more angry about the movie.
The last half hour-ish was like...
But it should have probably been more of it.
Yes, I agree.
Way more.
I mean, it was rushed. And obviously, I've said all my issues with it, but I still liked it. I still like the story. Right. So that's why I would give it an 8 out of 10.
So you tell people to also watch it? Like, you'd recommend it? Okay.
Well, don't just see it if you don't know anything about this. But if you've seen it, yes, you should watch the conclusion. No,
I give this a 4 out of 10. I think this movie was bad. And again, explicitly because like I think the worst thing a movie can be is boring. And I thought it was so boring. Like, it was rushed, and yet I felt like nothing of consequence was happening or important.
Because
like,
you were saying, like, after the movie was over, you were saying after you watched 2 of them, you're like, oh, God, are they going to do every single one? Where I wasn't like that. I was like, I want to see what's next. I want to see what the next Quint story is.
It was taking so long. It was rushed, and yet felt like it took a millennium. I thought I was in that theater for fucking 5 hours. Like,
it did feel a long time.
We got through 2 of them, and I looked at Kieran and went, we still have 3 more to go. And he was like,
I was not like that. I was like, okay, great. And obviously I could tell because he was just when Yotsuba was happening, he was like, oh my God, Itsuki doesn't get a story. I'm like, you're a fucking dumbass. Itsuki's the youngest. Clearly she's going last. Like, you're not paying attention at all.
But why would it? I don't know.
I didn't even realize it was going in age order. If I'm gonna,
I didn't yelled at me. I'm like, okay,
I forgot. I only know that fucking Ichiko was the oldest. I didn't remember the order past that. And then
shame.
Like, it just. I don't know. I thought it was pretty bad. I thought it was like a 4 out of 10. I would not say to watch it, even if you did like the first 2 seasons. I feel like it's not super necessary to watch. If you want to know what happens, just look up what the fuck the ending is.
Yeah, I guess you could just look up who
maybe
wins.
Just watch like the latter half of it, like the last third, because the like wedding ceremony and stuff is actually pretty nice.
You care about Nino. Watch Nino's part. That happens.
I would recommend watching like the first half of the movie, and that's it.
Yeah, mine would be the latter, just because I think the wedding part was the most interesting to me, and I thought it was like genuinely kind of nice.
Ish.
Well, like nice in terms of like again, like I was
it's
saying,
weird.
Yeah, but like again, like what I was saying to Ryan was like if I was at that wedding, like the way they did that, I was like, I think that was a nice ceremony. So like
but not the part before it.
No, but
that's weird.
Yeah,
the Quint game.
But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend seeing it, but I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. So.
Do you understand what you have to do?
No, I have no idea. I'm very lost.
That's what I'm saying. You get
no,
context.
I would give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Okay.
They are. I couldn't count the amount of times I verbally said what like as it was going on, and then there weren't good whats. They were like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
And then I'd say 3 or 4 times I was like, how long is this movie? Like, it just kept happening. Like, I kept thinking, like, how long is this movie? Because it kept, like, it just felt like there was so much to do.
Yeah.
But we got through so much. Like, and you lose track, like, you really lose track of time in the theater. Like, it just happens. Like, I was just, but too many problems. Way too many fucking problems in this movie. Way too many problems. Like, it just, I've never been more angry in a movie in my entire life. I was angry for most of this movie.
Right.
I really was angry for most of this movie. And I'm like, this is crazy. So, I don't know. Yeah, 4.5. I wouldn't watch it. I would see scenes, if your favorite girl, watch scenes on YouTube, like clips and whatever.
They'll probably put it on Crunchyroll.
I would just watch clips and go from there.
I know Kieran's a sub over dub person, and I was like, I'm so happy this was a dub movie. He was like, why? It was like the delivery even made it worse, and I was like,
no, I think their dub's good.
But I was like, because if I had to read this movie, I would have stopped paying attention about halfway in. Like, I would have stopped reading it. Like, because I would have just been like, I hate everything that's happening. This is so boring.
Just stare at it, but like not actually read anything.
Like,
just
so like,
watching.
at least with it being boring, I could just hear it.
I do. We didn't talk about it. The one thing about Nino is I don't think that they should have dubbed her singing. It wasn't that great.
Because there were still Japanese parts to it.
Yeah.
So I think that was actually the Japanese voice. I think that there were just English words in the singing. Yeah, because a lot of
It sounded like her voice actor.
but there were Japanese words, and I don't think she would have been doing that.
I think they just cut in her English voice and then they just let the Japanese play after.
That could have been true. I don't know.
That's what I really felt like, because it felt very different, like two different songs, so kind of pushed together. That's what I heard at least. But I could.
I don't know. I assumed because it's not uncommon for Japanese voice actresses to sing a song and then just say English words in the song.
Yeah, but it was too fluid of English to be.
I don't
like
think
that. You could tell the pronunciation would be off.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I swore I saw the clip in Japanese, and it sounded.
It didn't have
different.
any English. Or
No, it did. Love Vacation was still, but
she said
other words.
Longer.
Yeah,
she thought it was also longer.
But when I tried looking it up, and obviously I won't know until they put it on Crunchyroll, so I can actually check. All the clips were about the same length, so that I might have been crazy.
Okay.
But I don't know where I saw it to begin with.
I assumed that was just the Japanese voice actress singing because other English dubs also do that, so that's what I just thought was happening. I don't know. I did think it was weird that she was the one that was on stage. That caught me off guard. I was like, why the fuck is it you?
I enjoyed it.
Well, yeah.
Of course you enjoyed it. Of course you did. I agreed. I was like, why Nino out of everybody?
But all right. Well,
who would you think it would be?
I don't know.
It was originally supposed to.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
That makes no sense.
No, I would argue that makes sense because she's the one that agrees to everything.
Yeah, but
that
I
would make
can't
sense.
see her actually fucking doing that.
I don't see her singing up there, but I wouldn't think any of the
playing.
sisters would agree to that. It would be like someone else would do it. They have all these classmates. Like, why just someone else do it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
all right. Well, hey, those are our thoughts about the greatest movie of all time.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
The quintessential Quintuplets movie. Thanks for joining us for this random ass special episode. I don't really have anything else to plug, so hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, like, follow, check out Cat the Minster on Twitch, and I don't know your Twitch by heart. I'm sorry.
Speedster XS on Twitch. Thank you.
So go check him out there, and the links will be in the bio for those, and we'll see you guys whenever the next episode's coming out, because I don't remember where I'm putting this out. So
I don't know. Wait, you have to watch.
Well, I don't know where. I guess this is going out this week.
I thought you were trying to
but
make
it's not
it
an episode number.
Yeah, but I'm just saying what you have to watch.
And we do a monthly anime club here at Vaguely Anime. Every 5 episodes, a host picks a new show for us to review and watch, and we then get together and talk about what we thought about it. So if you liked our opinions here, maybe go check that out. Our next anime club would be episode 80, Jujutsu Kaisen, is what we are watching. So if you haven't seen it already, maybe you go watch it and join us for the conversation and see what we thought. And if you have seen it, maybe you can come and roast our opinions. So yeah, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for watching. We will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.